internal communication trends and how to take advantage of them. From the very beginning, there has always been a need for communication. Let it be the old stone age where people were communicating through smoke signals from one community to the other, or sending across pigeons, men on horses, postal service, telegrams, phone calls, pagers, mobiles, and so forth. It has always been evolving and going hand in hand with technology. I'm not going to talk about communication in general, but I'm going to have a discussion with you about communication at your workplace, internal communication, the trends that are emerging and how you can make the most of it. Deliberate positive employee experience. In most of the business situations or workplace scenario in any institution or organization, it's always the consumer or the customer who is looked at as the king. But my dear friends, it's important to understand that even your top performing employees are essential for your company because they do contribute to a maximum or a massive extent. They would be very happy if you recognize their requirements and needs. For instance, I was working at VIT University, Vellore, in South India. So there, for the very first time, I guess it was somewhere around 2010 or 11, where they introduced the ERP software. So when I was looking at the ERP software, we did have an orientation as to how to go about using it. It was very interesting because all my general details was filled in and I didn't have to fill up forms every now and then. You know, we all hate paperwork and we think we could be doing something better instead of filling out of forms whenever required. And this was one particular tool that really eased the situation where we had to keep on filling forms. The next thing which was really good about this software was being a teacher, I could upload attendance and the management or the administration always had access to the attendance that was being uploaded and marks. That was the best part because I didn't have to consolidate, I didn't have to grade. Everything was automated as far as this particular software was concerned. So all I had to do is, upload the attendance and then later on the quiz, internal marks, from the continuous assessments 1, 2, and then the final exam, and the grading was automatically done. The software was very helpful. The software also extended in helping me apply for my leaves as well as taking up my payroll and other important details. So I thought this software was really good in terms of, the clerical job and clerical task was taken up by this software. But later on, when I moved to BITS Pilani, I was working at the Hyderabad campus over there, I understood that this particular software had a little more extensive reach than the limitations which I got to know initially when the software was introduced to me. I had the facility of uploading my lectures, my PowerPoint presentations as well as my lecture notes, and in case any student had missed out on it, they could always go back. And it was also a very essential or a simplified method of communication because whenever there was a change in the classroom session or when I had to inform my students about the place where they would be taking up their exams or information that has been displayed on the notice board, I would always go back to the software and send the message across, and miraculously, you know how technology works, every student had a message wherever they were. So this part of internal communication, where it was not just restricted to the administrative part or the management part, where it was just about my general roles and my accomplishment applying for leave, I could also take it a step forward and grade my students, conduct quizzes online, and then I also had the facility to time the examinations or the time the quizzes, and it was extremely easy as an academician to reach out to my students. You know how tech savvy the students are, and when you offer something like this, they are extremely happy. So I was happy too as a person who was serving the organization because my work was simplified. I did not have to sit behind my table filling out forms, especially general information when whichever was required time and again. I could sit at the comfort of my office, save time and work more productively for my students as well as for my research. You could always think of how you could use softwares, what would come in handy in order to simplify the process in which your employees are working towards and how you could save their time. For instance, if they have to book a room for conducting a workshop or some kind of a training, if there was this particular system where they could just sit at the comfort of their office, go online, and just click on it too, where you give them access to book a room and also have a visibility about the kind of dates that are available, it's going to be helpful. Mobile. So we know that the mobile has become an integral part of our life. Especially, we feel so lonely, we feel as if something's missing. It's become so basic for us that we cannot think of a day without the mobile. We become so restless and at times even helpless when we forget our mobiles back at home. Well, there is this particular idea where you can start integrating the mobile into your workplace culture or your office or your organization. Because every employee is so glued up with his or her mobile that they cannot think of a time where they're going to leave it behind anymore. And even when we have this particular scenario where we are going virtual, it's going to give them a lot more flexibility if you are going to make it a part of your internal communication system. For instance, I have my own team here in my organization, and we work on several tasks assigned. So whenever I have to interact with my team, and I have to make it very quick instead of the long emails which is formatted, I just send a message to everyone. I don't have a WhatsApp group as such, but I use the broadcast in the WhatsApp. So each individual receives the message, and whenever they have to respond to me, they're not disturbing others. And that doesn't have to be really recorded on an official basis. So you could identify a single platform for communication. Remember, single. Because you don't want it, to be messy or go around. This will also put your employees at ease and comfort if they are working in shifts or employees who are existent in your virtual atmosphere and they have the need to feel that they are a part of the team, they are a part of the organization. So you can always extend this particular scenario to them and reach out to them in a very effective way. I think that would be ideological. As far as internal communication is concerned, the next aspect which we have to think about are consumers. So start trying to grade your consumers, even in your internal communication. Because there is a lot of social networking going on, and anytime you want to take on someone or you want to criticize a particular organization which is not fulfilling your task, the consumer or the customer always goes to the social platform. I remember I had cancelled out a credit card. I'm not mentioning the name of the bank. And time and again, I was being billed. I had written, almost 6 months or so, continuous emails telling them I had cancelled the card and I was not using their services anymore. But still, I was receiving mails. So at one point, I thought, enough is enough, and I decided to put my foot down. So what I did was I took to the Twitter page of that particular bank and I stated my complaint there. So when it went viral, to my surprise, I was very happy that the bank stopped billing me. So, as far as consumer experience is concerned, we tend to take our complaints or our grievances to the social media or social platform whenever someone is not responding to what you require. So you could start using or start analyzing how you could make your consumers or your customers to give positive replies, positive report on social platforms. And you can always set up a particular internal organization tool which would help your employees know or follow up on how the consumers are reacting to a product or how the consumers are giving their feedback. Keep a record of this particular aspect or the internal communication to portray how well you are working. So it doesn't always have to be through the newsletters or emails. You can always document it over the social platform, media, to show your consumers how well you care for them as well as how well your products function and work for others. Technology takeover can bring progress as well as protest. It's a very important concept which we cannot overlook for one major reason. As far as technology is concerned, and with the growth of virtual groups or virtual employees where you have from place to place, you would have to be very careful about how you're going to build your organization based on technology. And you would also have to be very careful because I have already mentioned earlier about the manner in which I use a Twitter page to record my protest. So if you could use it effectively and integrate the internal communication system effectively, it's going to help you a lot. Maybe you are thinking in terms of AI, robotics, and so forth. It's going to take a long time to come to that particular stage. But when you are going to engage with your virtual employees, you will have to make sure that they are feeling that they belong or they are a part of your organization. So yes, reach out to them and give them the positive vibes that they would understand that they are not going to face any kind of saturation because you are using higher end technology and you also keep updating your organization, the manner in which you are using the communication tools time and again. Communication does for the management. There's always a greater appreciation and recognition when the management can recognize the importance of communication. Because most of the time in a business scenario, people think or focus on the ROIs. And as far as communication is concerned, it is pushed to the bottom level. So it's high time for the management and understand how effective internal communication can be. So you can actually bring about progress, and also when you communicate effectively, the senior level managers with the other employees in the lower categories, it's going to be very helpful and there's going to be a kind of transparency that is going to be established. Because transparency and centralization of all activities happens to be a very important component to run your business successfully.